whatever we practice will get stronger. So if we keep on living out our survival brain habits of judgment, resentment, blame, othering, it just strengthens the circuitry of the limbic system. It locks us in. But if instead we have as a basic part of our practice attending and befriending, where we kind of call on that inner elder, our awakening heart. I sometimes think of it as our future self or that which we're evolving. When we learn to pause and deepen attention to vulnerability, to what's happening inside us, to where it's hurting, there's a shift. And we open up out of the survival brain trance and re-inhabit more wholeness. We'll close by looking at how we tend and befriend, starting with ourselves and then widening the circles a bit. So wherever you are, if you can, come into stillness. And if you can, in that stillness, let your attention go inward. Just invite yourself to be right here, right now. And you might take a few full breaths as a way to help collect your attention. Scanning your life, scanning what's been going on in the last days, and sense if there's any inner divide, any way that you're aware that you're in some way at war with yourself, judging yourself, unforgiving towards yourself. Noticing if there's ways that you've been acting that you are condemning, where you've created an inner bad other. And if there's a particular situation that evokes this sense, you might bring that to mind. So that you're bringing into awareness the stance of making yourself bad, making yourself wrong, creating that bad other inwardly. And consciously call on your inner wisdom, your awake heart, to come forward, like the wise old man, or what you might consider your inner bodhisattva, your evolved future self, high self, but call that forward. And sense that you can look through those eyes and feel with that heart as you really ask, well, what's most asking for attention? What's the vulnerability that's buried here? So whatever you're judging about yourself, just sense under it. If you're judging yourself for anger, if you're judging yourself for ways of acting greedy, just sense under it the fears, the hurts, the unmet needs. What needs tending and befriending? And take a moment to feel into your body and breathe with what's here. And with whatever you're finding, just sense that you can offer some gesture of care, of kindness. It might be a touch to the heart, your hand on your heart, some words of compassion. And you might widen the field and sense somebody in your life, friend, family, colleague, where you're feeling some separation, perhaps feeling judgment towards them or judged by them, but there's some reactivity. Perhaps you're in some way your survival brains are triggering each other. And again, let the situation that most brings us to your consciousness be there. And as you did just before, to invite forward your own awakening heart mind. And first, attend to your own reactivity, where you're feeling angry or hurt, judgmental, fearful. So there's that inquiry, where does it hurt? And then an attentiveness to your body, your throat, your chest, your belly. You might put your hand on your heart, tending and befriending, bringing mindfulness and kindfulness to whatever's here, whatever's inside you, whatever needs attention. And sense that you can open your eyes in a sense and look out at the other now with more wisdom, more perspective, more care. With that same question, where does it hurt? Just like that old man said, tell me about it. That sounds difficult. Just imagine that you can really sense, well, where does it hurt for the other person? What might they be going through right now? Tending and befriending, meeting in the middle, deepening understanding and care. And finally, you might bring to mind our society and perhaps a group or members of a group where there's difference from you, difference in views or values, ways of being, where you know that it brings up judgment, bad othering. And again, calling on that inner bodhisattva, that kind and wise witnessing, that presence that can see more deeply, and just bringing the attention to your own reactivity, to feeling your own anger, judgment, whatever comes up. And really that question, where does it hurt? What's underneath it? Where's the vulnerability? Is there fear? A sense of out of control? Is there sadness or grief for the harm? Is there caring? Tending and befriending what's right here inside you. Reconnecting with your own heart and spirit. shifting from the fight, flight, freeze reaction to this integrated awakeness that comes from tending and befriending. And you might imagine that you can bring to mind the other that's different and ask that same question: where does it hurt? And just listen, be receptive, sense what this human, what energies in these humans might be difficult, what fears might be there, how others might feel unsafe, disconnected, hurting, devalued, misunderstood. Just letting your heart include that and respond in whatever way feels natural. And then letting go of whatever you've been reflecting on, just take a few full breaths and know that this is a life process of awakening our hearts, evolving our consciousness. And it can be a liberating one. It comes from the aspiration that we can learn to meet in the middle, that we can learn to reconnect and hold hands. Starts with tending and befriending our own hearts, and then opening as we can to include widening circles. So we close, friends, with our shared prayer that together we might bring more healing and peace and true belonging to our world. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for your presence. Namaste and love to each.